a Vecna match review. Super exciting. Our first one ever. This match review comes to us from _Shadow, who's here all the time, who we appreciate so much. It's 262 hours, so not even at 300 hours. So usually I expect most people to be at 1K hours before I expect them to be fully competent, both the micro and macro game and Dead by Daylight. So you have quite a ways to go. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that you don't quite have done yet, and that is totally fine. You're playing Vecna, which is our first Vecna match review ever, which is super exciting. While I am not dropping Xenomorph for Vecna, I find Vecna very, very fun. I think it's really, really cool. I think a very tremendously interesting and complex character. So yeah, you're on Eyrie of Crows though, which is probably one of the most detrimental killer maps in the game. It's down there with like Disturbed Ward, Violent Camels, the Batten maps, stuff like that. It's a very, very nasty map to play on killer, especially for Vecna when like their main thing is like, I use Mage Hand to lift a pallet or to hold a pallet because there's so much, it's such a pallet dense map. If you hold one pallet, they would potentially just W key to the next one. Which may be problematic. That's why I like Bamboozle a lot on Vecna, which is spoilers for a recommended perk. Because like even like one of those resources they can get after like a Mage Hand and they W key could be a window, but if you already bamboozle that window, they can't do anything. So even if they W key appropriately, if that window's already blocked, they just get hit. It's pretty nice. So first off, you're only using one add-on, and any of the cooldown add-ons are pretty good on Vecna. That's kind of like his Achilles heel, is that his cooldowns are kind of long, even moderately long, even after their buff to the character. So obviously the cooldown add-ons are great. Obviously run 2 add-ons. That would be ideal. There's a lot of really, really good options. The brown Mage Hand one is very, very lovely. If you want to do something spicy and interesting, you could run the book, the iridescent book, which gives you bamboozle while you fly over windows. It makes your fly of the dim not crouchable, but you get less Skeleboys. I've heard people say, like, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about like the Boots of Speed. Don't know how to feel about that yet. I personally don't use it, but just keep in mind that some people are like, yeah, I use that, and some are like, no, it's terrible. But it could potentially be, as the character continues to be out and people experiment more, potentially be good. Obviously, Ring of Telekinesis is good right now, but that is receiving a nerf soon, so I would not get too attached to that. That's why I hesitated to even bring it up. But it was worth noting that until the character is nerfed, Ring of Telekinesis is a good pick. Your build is perfect, honestly. You got Lethal Barbecue, amazing info combo. Deadlock, great learning perk because it doesn't require any downs or inputs for you to be able to get slowdown value out of it. And then No Way Out, which is an excellent non-slowdown perk. So if you lose, it's not because of your build, although you ideally should be using add-ons. Keep that in mind. It's a good wall to get out of the way early. Main building's also very annoying.
You have made a shield.
Keep in mind, the Smelling Sphere is an excellent tool for info, but as well, it's just called the Smelling Sphere for a reason, because it disables items. So keep that in mind, that has that dual use. Most people don't use it that way, including me. I am one of those people. I brought this up when I was playing Vecna earlier, but I'll bring it up again, that what Revium said in their Twitter post recently about Vecna was really, really intelligent and smart, that within 4 meters, the Flight of the Damned is very, very helpful, but outside of it, it's much harder to use and get value out of. So think of it more like a shotgun in terms of use and use it more close up. That way you can get more confirmed value. That would have hit me. Using flight mid-chase like this is a little bit... Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. Using flight mid-chase like this is not really ideal, because flight has so many applications, like being a map traversal tool. You can use it to scamper over pallets. You can use it to go through windows. Like, and you used it just to like chase her around in an area that like... Yeah, that was just odd. You put a very helpful spell on cooldown for like no reason. That was not one of those scenarios. Why did you switch off the Mage Hand? Once again, I'm not sure why you used the sphere there. You're kind of just putting a lot of like helpful spells on cooldown for like no reason. I don't know how close this was to release. Maybe you were just like messing with things, but like that's definitely not areas where either of those like the spells would be helpful. But you just put them on a really long cooldown for no reason. There you go. Use it to check if people are over there. You had somebody injured to your right and you didn't go after them. You said decided to go after somebody fully healthy for some reason. I don't know why you do that. Prioritize chasing injured people. You literally had Mage Hand up. If you had Mage Handed there, he wouldn't have had enough time to get all the way back around. Why'd you not Mage Hand there? That was literally the perfect opportunity. That's like, Mage Hand works in one of two ways. Either you use it to block a pallet as you're going through to hit them, or you use it to lift it up the moment they drop it and get the easy hit. Once again, you don't want to use Flight of the Damned that far away. It's not very helpful at that range. Yeah, so I won't. Just the boots. I do like the idea of like trying to use the hand as like a threat to make them play differently, but you should just end up using it as well. You shouldn't just keep holding it. Then use it, get value out of your, value out of your power. Deny are at 2 gens for 1 hook because you spent a lot of time like either sending out spells pointlessly or not using spells in chase when you should. Good job ping-ponging back and forth between these two. At this point, these are the 2 survivors you're focusing, so you should be going back and forth between Asteri and Michaela. Realistically, now the right solution is to when Asteri gets on just to kill her. But I have a funny feeling you're gonna throw out for no way out value instead of just getting somebody dead. Once again, just kind of like throwing out Flight of the Damned and hoping it hits instead of having like a clear game plan on what to do. I notice a lot of people do that. They think that just because Flight of the Damned is happening behind a wall means they're just like, oh, well, they don't know what's coming, so I'm gonna hit them. That's a bad habit I've seen a lot of, like, people out of Vecna already. Around the area. Still waiting on that audio balance on all the survivors. There's no competitive advantage to playing one over the other, like it's supposed to be.
Your time draws near.
So, I guess to just yeah, but it's just interesting that you already had barbecue on them, but you decided to like, yeah, please go after Asteri here. Like you already have 3 stacks now, which is still pretty good. Nice.
I wish to watch them.
Yeah, you're not using Mage Hand like this is like his strongest ability, and you're not really using it. I'm not sure why. I don't know why you're like a big fan of using the globe mid chase. Like of all the spaces you would probably use the hand, you're like, oh, I'm going sphere instead. There you go. If you'd been doing that the whole game, we would have been in a great spot. Why did you just now do that? No, it didn't hit. Yeah, it takes some getting used to. just like anything in terms of distance. I think especially with like it's a hard one because like you can do fun stuff, like you can do like the, oh, you got that bug, that's funny, I've gotten that bug before. Like try to do like a scamper-esque kind of situation, but a smart survivor will just like wait for you to land off the stagger and then vault back. But a lot of players don't know that yet. Yeah, you let them pick up because you're kicking Jen and balancing flashlight savers. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You should have just hit him though. That way he's at least injured and he can't continue to buy your block like he is without going down. Yeah, you need to use that more close range. Yeah, see, if you just hit him earlier, he wouldn't even be in this situation, but because you didn't hit him earlier, now you can come back and do that.
Manipulate.
I don't know why you decided 2 gens was the time to start using Mage Hand, but it's the strongest ability and you waited way too long to use it.
Just the thing.
Plug, go hook her. You're gonna hook him instead because, like with most people, a lot of people who get scared of like pallets and stuff like that don't want to hook at all. And it's like, being quick and snappy with your pickups is how you throw a lot of people off. That's unfortunate. Always look up. Always look up when you're carrying somebody and there's flashlights in a game. That's on you, unfortunately. You just mopped into that.
Here it is.
Serial demon picker? That's how you throw a lot of people off. Like, you should be. Gotta be unpredictable. Why are you chasing this person? This guy, like, got your attention fairly early on. And I like the attempt though. I think if you continue your momentum, where were you sending that? He's death hook now? Now he is, but like he's been like randomly leaving chase for this guy like the whole game. I'm not sure why. Like now it makes sense, but before I was like, I don't know why. Like, because they were ping-ponging forth between Asteri and Michaela, and they're just randomly like, this guy has to die, and I don't know why.
Arcane secrets.
Like, you've kind of thrown the game trying to like go after this dude, and I don't know why you just randomly like, okay, I gotta like 3-hook this guy. Really weird. Even like teabag or anything, because usually it's like, well, they decided to teabag or something, so they're down to your skin. But that's not even the case here. You should hit that. He hesitated though, because he didn't know if he was going towards the window or the pallet.
To unravel
He's the least popular of the 2 bards, he must die! I will spare the good bards and leave this one. Yeah, what does this guy do? It's so funny. Like, he is death hook now compared to Michaela, so there's that. It's just funny. I just
this. Let us test their constitution.
Yeah, you kind of tried to do so much that you kind of ended up doing nothing. No, don't get back up on your computer. Don't do it.
Arcane secrets.
Power spam? I think it's just weird because they're just kind of like throwing it randomly a lot. but they're not like sometimes they're just like readying the orb and throwing it into the ground and stuff. I just don't know why they're doing that. Like I said, I don't know how close this is to like release of the characters, so they may not know what each power does. They're just kind of doing it. Yeah, they're not in a really good spot here. What do you have? Hold on. Hold on. We're all tired. I just wish you'd go back to bed. Or misbehave.
Cursed flame.
He was getting into the garbage.
Arcane secrets. Decisions.
Do I bring Mori? Unironically. One of the reasons Moris are very, very good. You can counteract DS. If you need to song somebody for some reason, you just go back in Mori instead of having to pick them up again. There's a lot of advantageous reasons to bring a Mori other than just it looks cool. I like the idea though. That wasn't a bad idea. It was just kind of like you don't have the expertise. That's funny. Oh, she fucked up. Get her. What? She just teleported out! She cheated! She literally just teleported out. What was that? What the heck? That's very BS. That sucks. Alright, so, here's your main takeaways. Most of this boils down to, like, misuses of your power. Which is funny. Because, you know, like we're talking about earlier, a lot of people are like, where's the microplay advice? A lot of the microplay advice is very character specific, which is why it feels like there's not a lot of microplay advice. Because, like, I can only say, like, hide your red stain, moonwalk, kick the pal on the right side so many times. Most of it boils down to character specific info like this. With that was kind of like the main reason that you lost this match. You kind of need to invest more time to figure out what spells to use where and why. So first off, there's going to be a lot of takeaways here, and I don't know how many we're going to have. So here's the takeaway. Mage Hand is your strongest power, and you don't really start using it consistently to either hold pallets or lift them back up until 2 gens. This is your strongest anti-chase tool, and you basically hold off on using it for 3 gens, which I'm not sure why you do that. Like, you fake it a few times, but you don't really go for it, like, at all, which is very, very interesting. You should definitely be trying to use it as much as possible. In terms of Flight of the Damned, I don't know if this is a takeaway or not, but Flight of the Damned, like I was mentioning earlier, most helpful at like that short range of like 4 meters where they can't react as much. You can place it right on top of them. Also very, very helpful when you're suspecting they're going to get into a locked animation because they can't crouch under it if they're in a locked animation. You're kind of just like throwing it willy-nilly and hoping it would hit. Or really relying on the fact that, okay, well, I'm behind a wall, so they're not going to see it coming, but they can still hear it coming, so they can just crouch if they're paying attention. In terms of another takeaway, your other 2 spells, your Flight and your Orb, you're just kind of just like throwing these out willy-nilly without any sort of like thought process behind why we're using them. There were so many times you would use the Dispelling Sphere or whatever it's called and just like throw it into the ground or just throw it at a wall or something. Like, it was very clear you just didn't know really what to do with that thing, but you were just like spamming it for like no reason. Which we know when you have as long of cooldowns as you do on this character, you really can't afford to be doing that. Same thing with the fly. You were kind of just like flying all over the place and not using it to gain distance, to traverse the map, to block people off from certain resources. You were just kind of like just using it whenever, which once again, like I said, pulls it on a tremendously long cooldown, so that you kind of can't afford to just like spam that with this character. I think the final takeaway is like you had a Stary like death hook for so long And for some reason, just like in the middle of this match, that other Bamer? I don't know how to say that name. But the other bard, you were just like, okay, well, you have to die now. And for some reason, like, you were doing good. You're ping-ponging back and forth between Asteri and Michaela, and then suddenly you're just like, that guy's gotta die. And like, you just like gave up on all your pressure on that you would build up the entire match to go after one dude. And usually I can like rationalize this with like, okay, well, they teabagged at you, so you got a little frustrated. But like, he didn't do anything like that, so I don't know why you're randomly like, that guy, he's gotta go. Like, that was like, that was interesting. I can't quite decipher why you decided to make that shift in gameplay to just like try to focus that guy, but you even get him dead. So like, at the end of the day, you even accomplish your sole goal of getting him dead. So that was ultimately just a waste of time. You were doing the right thing initially by going back and forth between two people, and they just kind of gave up on it for him, and I don't know why. So obviously I would not do that again. Yeah, mostly this boils down to not understanding your power or being a little too willy-nilly with your powers when you should be a little bit more guided and focused with how you use it instead of just kind of spamming it. And use Mage Hand more. Mage Hand more.